ब्रह्मनाथ शांति 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 स्वस्थ। Hello students, in the previous class we discussed the role of sex differentiation in sex determination, in which we discussed the sex reversal in the case of the chick and also in case of the human. Then we discussed the free Martin, and also we discussed the environmental factors of the sex determination, in which we discussed the chemotactic sex determination, and also we discussed the temperature dependent sex determination. In the chemotactic we discussed about the Bonellia, okay, which is an annelid, and also we discussed the temperature dependent sex determination in case of the turtle, lizard and the crocodiles. Today we will discuss, so far as for now, how much we have discussed. We have discussed the whole long question of the sex determination in a standard way, as it is given in your material. We have studied in that manner. Today we will discuss how a question will come, or how the long question will come in your board exam, by which you can write accordingly. Okay. Suppose your long question will come on the basis of sex determination on the basis of the animals. Okay, till now we studied in general, means we studied the sex determination, the introduction portions the introduction portions. Also we discussed the chromosomal mechanism, okay, XX, XY, XX, XY, and XX, XO, ZW, ZY, ZW, ZZ, everything we discussed. Then we discussed the genic balance mechanism, gynandrome of single gene effect in case of the human being, also in case of the Drosophila, sex reversal, free Martin, everything we discussed in a standard way. In general we discussed, but if in exam it will come according to the animals, then how we will write, that we will study today. Okay, so if question will come, explain sex determination in the case of human, Drosophila, bird and honeybee, then how you will write. Okay, first I will write the skeleton or the format how you will write the long question, then we will go in detail. Okay, so first of all the answer will be, how the answer will be, first you will write the introduction. What you will write? The introduction. Okay, first you will write the introduction. I will tell in detail. First it will write. Second point you will write in the case of the human being. Okay, you will write about the human being. Okay, what you will write in the case of the human being? First you will write the chromosomal mechanism, that is your XX, XY mechanism, XX, XY mechanism. Okay, then you will write the single gene effect. You will write the single gene effect, and also you will write the sex reversal. Okay. Okay. Next you will go your next animal, that is your Drosophila. Next you will write about the Drosophila. Same, that is your same mechanism. I will tell in detail. XX, XY mechanism. Okay. Then here you will write the genic balance mechanism. Genic balance mechanism. Lastly you will write the about the gynandrome of Okay. Next we will go to the birds. Birds also you will write here. The chromosomal mechanism here is your ZW and ZZ. So you will write here ZW, ZZ mechanism. I will tell, don't worry. Okay. Then lastly you will write the sex reversal in case of the bird. Okay. Last one you will write about the honeybee, which is your haploid diploid mechanism. Okay. Each and every portion I will tell in detail. Okay. So this should be your format while writing the long question. Okay, what should be you include, what should be your point that should be included? First, clearly you should write the introduction. Then in the case of human, you should write the XX-XY mechanism, then the single gene effect and the sex reversal. In the case of Drosophila, same, the XX-XY mechanism, the genic balance mechanism and the gynodermops. Next you will write about the birds, that is your ZW and ZZ mechanism. Next you will write about the sex reversal. Okay, then you will write the honeybee, that is your haploid and diploid mechanism. Okay. First I will tell about the introduction first now only, then I will tell human, then Drosophila, then birds, lastly I will tell the honeybee. Introduction, you know. Who discovered the Henking in the year 1891. First you write the sex determination definition. Okay, you give the heading introduction, you write the sex determination heading, then the definition you write. Who discovered the X chromosome in the male bug? First you write the Henking in 1891. Then Wilson and Stevens in the year 1902 to 1905. They first proposed the chromosomal theory. You also write that point. Then you write the various types of chromosomal mechanism, that is your XXXY, XXXO mechanism. Okay. Then ZZ-ZW. Okay. Then your ZZ and ZO mechanism, and lastly your haploid diploid mechanism. Okay, this is your types. Okay, this much should be, and also you should mention about the allosome and the autosomes. Okay, about the autosome and also about the what are the various sex chromosomes present. So this should be about our introduction. Okay, so please note down the first format of how you will write the long question, and I have told the introduction. Now I will tell the how you will do the cross. Okay, please note down. So first introduction portion is over. Next we will discuss the chromosomal mechanism, or how we will do the cross. Okay, the cross is very important, you should do properly. Okay, so you give the heading, that is your XX or XY mechanism, type of mechanism, or the ligase type of mechanism, which you know already. And this mechanism is found in case of human and Drosophila. Before going to the cross, give some introduction as given clearly in the material, that is the female is homogametic, means XX both are same. Okay, whereas the male is heterogametic. Female is XX, and as there are only is the same type of gamete, and the male is the heterogametic, as it consists of X and Y. It produces two types of sperm. 50% consists of X chromosome, whereas another 50% consists of Y chromosome. And the sex of the offspring in the case of human and the Drosophila depends on the kind of sperm. Okay, if the sperm consists of the X chromosome, then the offspring which will produce will be female. Whereas if the kind of sperm consists of Y chromosome, then the offspring will produce male. Okay, so if the kind of sperm consists of X chromosome, it will produce female. If the kind of sperm consists of Y chromosome, then it will produce the male. So the sex of the offspring depends on the types of kind of sperm. Okay, so this much you should write in the introduction portion, or we can say some points first you write, then you go for the cross. Okay, 3 cross will do. First we'll do the general cross, then we'll do the chromosome number wise cross in the case of human, then we'll do in the case of the Drosophila. First, while doing the cross, you should give importance to some portion. First you write the parents. Okay, right here the female. Okay, give cross. Okay, then you write the male. Okay, you know already, female means AA plus XX, homogametic. Okay, in the male case AA plus XY. Okay, next you give gametes. What are the gametes formed? Put it in the box. Okay, you know already. Okay, it will produce A plus X and it will produce also A plus X. Okay, this one will produce, you know, XY means A plus X and A plus Y. A plus X, A plus Y. Okay, now we will write the offspring. Okay, we will make the cross. This gamete will fuse with this one and this one will fuse with this one. It will produce AA plus XX. AA plus XX means this is your female. Okay, this one is your female. This one is your AA plus XY. Okay, this one is your male. Or in offspring you can write the daughter and son. Okay, so this one is your cross in general. First you draw the general case, then you will go to the chromosome number wise. Okay, parents, gametes, offspring. Okay, please note down, then we will do the chromosome number wise. Please note down. First we'll discuss the chromosome number of the human, then we'll discuss the Drosophila. Okay, so obviously parents, gametes, offspring. Or you should always remember, you should not write only the cross. Okay, you should write female, male, give the cross sign. What are the, which is denoted the which is denoted the parents, which is denoted the gametes, and which one is denoted the offspring. So obviously human beings consist of 46 chromosomes, or we can say 23 pairs of chromosomes, in which it consists of 44 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes. 44 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes. So we can write 44 plus XX in the case of the female, and in the case of the male 44 plus XY. Okay. Once again I am saying, give these things are important. Cross sign, these boxes. Okay, if you are not writing this, then some marks should cut from the whole long question overall. You should give important also these things. These are also important. Okay, by which you can get full marks also. Okay, so these are your male and female and the male. Gametes are formed. Gametes are formed. Okay, 22 plus X, 22 plus X. Okay, 44 plus XX. Now here 22 plus X, because we know these are the diploid, but these are your haploid. Okay, and this is your 22. When the gamete are formed, those are haploid. 22 plus Y. Similarly, we will do the cross. Now here we will also find the cross and do the offspring. This one will be your 44 plus XX. 44 plus XX, which will be your daughter, and this one will be your son. 44 plus XY. Okay, this one will be your daughter, this one will be your son. Okay. Okay, so in the case of human, 44 plus XX means 46 chromosome, then they will it will divide in the gamete are formed 22 plus X, 22 plus X. Male 44 plus XY, from it will come the 22 plus X and 22 plus Y. It will fuse, the gamete will be fused to form 44 plus XX, which is your daughter, which is your offspring, and the 22 plus X and 22 plus Y will fuse to form the 44 plus XY, which is your son. Okay, please note down, then we will do the Drosophila case. Now we will discuss in the case of the Drosophila. Okay, as in the case of the human being, the chromosome number is 46 or 23 pairs. In the case of the Drosophila, the chromosome number is 8. So we can write 6 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes. So we can write 6 plus, in the case of the female, XX, whereas in the case of the male, 6 plus XY. Okay, this is your parents, gamete will be formed. Three plus X, 3 plus X. Okay, this one will be your 3 plus X, and this one will be your 3 plus Y. Okay, similarly we will fuse. This one will be your 6 plus XX, means female, 6 plus XX, female, 6 plus XY, means male. Okay, this one will be your female, this one will be your male. Okay, simply as it is, we have done 3 types, that is the cross of the general, then we have done the cross of the human chromosome number, then we have done the Drosophila chromosome number. The chromosome number in the case of human being is 46, okay, and in the case of Drosophila is 8. Human beings 46, Drosophila 8. So 6 plus XX in the case of female, 6 plus XY in the case of male. Gamete formed 3 plus X, 3 plus X in the case of male, 3 plus X and 3 plus Y. This will fuse to form the 6 plus XX female, and these two will fuse to form the 6 plus XY, that is your male. Okay, so this is all about your first portion, that is your chromosomal mechanism. Okay, next we will do the single gene effect. Please note down. Next, chromosomal mechanism is over in the case of human and Drosophila, that is the XXXY. Next we will discuss in human 2 more portions are present, as I have written in the heading. One is your single gene effect, other one is your sex reversal. First you will write about the single gene effect. Okay, so in the humans, which gene we discussed, that is your SRY gene. Okay, so SRY gene which is present, you will write SRY gene present, you know, on the Y chromosome. Okay, chromosome which influence the development of the testes in the case of males. which influence development of testes, okay, in males, okay, and its absence develops ovary, and its absence develops ovary in females, okay. Means we know the serigin is located on the Y chromosome, means if the serigin is present it will develop the ovary, if the serigin present it will develop testes in the case of male. If the serigin absent it will develop ovary, okay, in the case of the female. But there are some exceptions, means if in the case of the female, that is your XX, okay, with serigin, means if serigin is present in case of the female, then it will convert it into sterile male, okay. Another exception, if in XY, that is your male, it should be present the serigin, but in that case if there is no serigin or without serigin, it will convert the male into sterile female, okay. So this much you should write about the single gene effect. You know, serigin is present on the Y chromosome, it helps in influence the development of the testes in the case of the male, and its absence helps in development of the ovary in case of the females. Whereas there are some exception, in generally female there is no serigin, but if serigin is present then it will convert the female into sterile male. In male there are generally present the serigin is present in the case of the male, but if serigin is absent, means serigin is not present in the case of male, it will convert it into sterile female, means XY male without the serigin will convert it into sterile female, okay. So now lastly, you know, the sex reversal, okay. You know, the artificial removal of the gonads before puberty will develop the secondary sexual character of the opposite sex, okay. In the male, the removal of the testes is your castration, okay, that is your removal of testes, okay. Whereas the ovarectomy is your removal of ovary, okay. Means we know that if accidentally damaged, or we can say if the testes is removed from the male, then it will develop some secondary sexual character of the female. If from the female the artificially we remove the ovary, then it will develop the secondary sexual character of the male. Means overall sex reversal means if the gonads are removed before puberty, means artificial removal of the gonad before puberty helps in the development of the secondary sexual character of the opposite sex. In the male case, if the testis is removed, then it is called the castration. If the ovary is removed in the case of female, then that is called your ovarectomy. So this one is castration, this one is your ovarectomy. You will write the single gene effect, then you will write the sex reversal, okay. Please note down in case of human. Now we will discuss in case of the Drosophila. Now we will discuss in the case of Drosophila. Before going to the Drosophila, please check in the format that I have given in the case of the long question. Then Drosophila, have I told the 4 points? That is, first one is your chromosomal mechanism. Please check, now you check chromosomal mechanism, then the genic balance, then have I told the gynandrome, then the single gene effect. I am thinking that I might have told 3 points. Please correct that portion. It consists of 4 points, okay. First you will do the cross chromosomal mechanism, then will be your genic balance mechanism, then the single gene effect, and last one is your gynandromorph. Please check down. Okay, if I have told 3, then you add 1. If I have told 4, then it is okay. Okay, please check first. So first is your genic balance mechanism. In the case of Drosophila, you will write 3 portion: genic balance mechanism, okay, then you will write the gynandromorphs, okay, lastly you will write the single gene effect. 3 portion you will write, okay. In the genic balance mechanism, you know, it was first proposed by Kelvin Bridge, okay, in the year 1921. Okay, what is the genic balance mechanism? It is the ratio between the number of X chromosome to the number of set of autosomes in the zygote. It is the ratio of number of X chromosomes and number of sets of autosomes in zygote. Okay, I'll do only one. There are 7 types in the table, you know, in the material the given 7 number of serial number are given. I am doing only one. Okay, this one is a serial number. Next you will write the chromosome complement, okay, which one first here 2A plus XXX, okay. Then will come your ratio, which will be your 3/2 equal to 1.5, okay, which will be your super female. Okay, what is the sex? That is your super female. 1.5 means super female, 1 means female in normal, then in triploid, in tetraploid, then intersex, then which is 0.67, male is 0.5, then the super male is 0.33. Okay, so these all points you will write in the table in the case of the genic balance mechanism. Gynandromorphs means, you know, in the case of Drosophila, half of the body it shows the male character and half body it shows the female character. It was first discovered in Drosophila, Drosophila by Morgan and Bridges. Okay, gynandromorphs. Okay, means half of the body exhibit the or show the male characters and the half of the body show the female characters. Okay, then the single gene effect. Okay, Morgan and the Bridges. So the gynandromorphs, it consists of half of the male show the male characters and the half it show the female character, and this happens due to the non-disjunction of the X chromosomes during or in cleavage. Okay, non-disjunction of the X chromosomes. Non-disjunction of X chromosome cleavage. Okay, next is your single gene effect. So in the case of the human beings, which gene we have discussed? We discussed about the SRY gene. Here we'll discuss about the TRA gene or transformer gene. Okay, what happens in the case of TRA gene? It is the recessive gene. It is the recessive gene present on the third number of autosome. Okay, third number of autosome. You will write about the TRA gene, means it has no effect in the heterozygous condition, it have impact in the homozygous condition. Heterozygous condition, in the case of the male or female, it have no effect, but in the case of homozygous condition it convert normal female into sterile male. Okay. So in the case of the transformer gene or the TRA gene, which is a recessive gene which is present on the third number of autosomes, if it has no impact in the heterozygous condition, it has impact in the homozygous condition. If in heterozygous condition, it has no impact in the case of male and female, but if in the homozygous condition it is present in the case of the female, then it will convert the normal female into sterile male. Okay, in the homozygous condition. So what is the concept? Means why in the homozygous it is active and it has no effect in the heterozygous? Why? Because it is recessive. No, it is recessive, and when two alleles are present, if one is your recessive, one is your dominant. Okay, means this one is your heterozygous. Will it have an impact? No, recessive will be means cover up, and the dominant will show its character. So in the heterozygous it have no effect. If it is in the homozygous condition and both the allele both are recessive, then only it will show its character, by which it convert the normal female into sterile male. So always try to understand the concept, why the thing is happening. Okay. So in the case of Drosophila, please check whether I have told 4 portion or 3 portion. Once again I am telling, in Drosophila 4 portions are present. First one is chromosomal mechanism, okay. Second one is a genetic balance mechanism, then gynandromorph. Last one is your single gene effect. Please check whether I have told 3 or 4. If 4, then it is fine. If 3, please note down, please add in that point in the skeleton or in the format of the long question, first long question. Okay. So this is all about Drosophila. Please note down. Achha, now we will discuss the sex determination in case of the bird. As your question is asked birds, we will write the heading birds, and in the birds we will discuss 2 things. One is your sex reversal, and first we will discuss the chromosomal mechanism. Achha, one difference is there in the case of the human and the Drosophila as compared to the bird. That is, here the chromosomal mechanism is your ZW and ZZ. Okay, in the case of human and Drosophila, XX means female and XY means that is your male. But in the case of bird, we are representing ZZ, ZW as it is different. Why? Because the female is ZW and it is heterogametic. It is heterogametic, whereas the male is homogametic. Okay, in the case of the human beings, the male is heterogametic, but the female is homogametic. In the case of birds, or this is shown, this type of mechanism it also seen in the case of the birds and reptiles. Okay, but as it is asked birds, we are giving heading the birds. Okay, so ZW is seen, which is heterogametic, is the female, whereas the ZZ, which is the male, which is the homogametic. Now we will do the cross. First we will do the gender, then we will do according to the chromosome number. Okay, as accordingly only we will do. First we will do the parents. Okay, first one is your female. Similarly we will do cross mark male. Okay, female means we know AA plus heterogametic means ZW. Okay, ZW. Male means AA plus ZZ because it is homogametic. Do the box. Okay, now we will form the gametes. Here also do the box. Okay, so here here it will form A plus Z A plus W. Here will form A plus Z and A plus Z. Okay, lastly the offspring. Okay, this will fused and this will fuse. Okay, this will form AA plus ZZ. Okay, AA plus ZZ, this one will form AA plus ZW. Okay, ZZ means here we know it is male, so this one is your male, this one is your, as it is heterogametic, this one is your female. Okay, so this is overally in the case of the bird or reptile in general, but in detail we will discuss the chromosome number of the cock and the hen. Okay, please note down. So accordingly, first in chromosome number, as we have discussed in the case of human and the Drosophila, now we will discuss in the case of hen and cock. So you know, hen is the female. Okay, hen is the female and the cock is the male. You can also give like this symbol. Okay, this one is your female, this one is your male. Okay, so chromosome number will be total number of chromosome in the hen or cock is your 78. So it will be 76 plus ZW or ZZ. So in the case of hen means it will be ZW, means 76 plus ZW. As it is female, it is heterogametic. And in the case of cock, 76 plus ZZ. 76 plus ZZ. Okay, gamete will formed. 76 half is your 38. 38 plus Z. 38 plus W. Okay, accordingly this one is also, this one is Z. Okay, Z and ZW. This one is your 38 plus Z. This one is your 38 plus Z. Okay, now the offspring will form. This gamete and this gamete will fuse to form the 76 plus ZZ, and this one will form 76 plus ZW. Okay, chromosome total number is 78. ZZ means female, or we can say, sorry, ZZ means, yes, yes, ZZ means male in the case of here, so we can say it is the male. Okay, or this is your cock, and this one is your male is your cock and the female is your hen. Okay, female. Okay, so this one is your cock. Okay, this one is your hen. Okay, so in the case of the birds, or we can say chromosome number specifically, if we will go in the hen, it is female, it is 76 plus ZW, it is heterogametic, and in the case of the cock it is homogametic, that is 76 plus ZZ. It will divide into 38 plus Z, 38 plus W, 38 plus Z, 38 plus Z. It will cross to form 76 plus ZZ, means male, hetero means homogametic in the case of bird, male, that is your cock. 76 plus ZW means female, which is heterogametic, that is your hen or female. Here, as we know, the male is homogametic, that is why it is ZZ. Female is heterogametic, that is why it is ZW. After this, you will add one more point, that is your lastly sex reversal. Okay, I am not giving another heading, sex reversal. Okay, you will give, you will write first the sex determinants in birds, lastly, secondly, you will write the sex reversal in case of chick. Okay, you know, sex reversal means what? If the artificial removal of the gonad before puberty develops the secondary sexual character of the opposite sex. One interesting example we have discussed, if accidentally the ovary is being damaged in case of the hen, then the ovarian hormones will be stopped, by which the some rudiment testes that are present in the case of hen will eventually become more functional and will develop secondary sexual character of the cock, such as the development of the comb, the development of the male plumage, which will eventually it will develop into a complete hen into cock. That is your sex reversal. You should write all the points under the sex reversal. Okay, please note down. Then we will discuss the honeybee. Now we will discuss our last segment of the long question, that is your sex determination in case of the honeybee, and the type of mechanism is your haploid diploid mechanism, because your male here is haploid and female is your diploid. Okay, when the male and female fertilize they form the female. Okay, when the female is the gamete which is not fertilized of the female, then it will form the drone bee. I will make you understand. See, we will discuss in the case of honeybee, and this is generally seen in the both the cases, the bees and the wasp. So now we will discuss, as we have questioned the honeybee, so we will discuss the haplodiploid mechanism in case of the honeybee based of the chromosome number. So the chromosome number in case of honeybee, in male the chromosome number as I said, it is haploid, so it is 16. In the case of queen, or we can say what is fertile female which is eligible to fertilize, so the chromosome number is 32. Okay, as it is 2n. By the help of the mitosis, the sperm cell will form, and by the help of meiosis, the egg cells will form, having the n number of chromosome each. Also in the sperm cell, it is the present of n number chromosome. When the sperm cell, as I've said, when the sperm cell will fertilize with the egg cell, it will form the female having 2n number of chromosome. The female which will feed the royal jelly, it will become the queen, and the female which will feed the honey will become the workers having 2n number chromosome, but these are sterile females, means these cannot reproduce. But the egg cell which is not fertilized, or we can say, we know already without fertilization if the offspring are produced, that is known as parthenogenesis. Then by the help of parthenogenesis, the drone bee or the male honeybee is produced having n number of chromosomes. So this type of mechanism is seen in the honeybee. So till now we have discussed on the basis of the animals. Okay, if you have asked in the question, write about the human being, Drosophila, then the honeybee, birds, then you will write accordingly as I said. Okay, so please note down. Lastly, we will discuss another long question, which is your standard long question, in which manner we studied in earlier classes. So simply if it is asked, first one we discussed on the basis of the animals. This is in general. If the chromosomal theory mechanism sex determination asked, firstly you will write as usual the introduction, the X and XS and XY mechanism, that is in the humans and Drosophila, XS and XO mechanism in the roundworm and the insect, ZW and ZZ in the case of birds and reptile, then ZO and ZZ in the case of moth and butterfly. Last one you will write the haplodiploid mechanism in the case of bees and wasp. Next you will write the genic balance mechanism of the Drosophila. Gynandrome about the gynandrome of you will write. Also the single gene effect, TRA in the case of Drosophila, SRY gene in the case of human being. So if it is asked in this manner, you will write all these points. Okay. Lastly, the short notes. If two important short notes are there. One is your hormonal factor, other one is your environmental factor. If hormonal factor is asked, then you will write about the sex reversal in human, sex reversal in chick. Last one is a free Martin. You know free Martin means the born of the identical twin of the opposite sex, in which the male is normal healthy but the female is somehow sterile and having some male characters, is seen in the case of the cattle. Okay, so you write the 3 points. If it is as the environmental factors, then you will write 2 factors, that is your chemotactic sex determination in case of the Bonellia, and the temperature dependent sex determination in case of turtle and the lizards and the crocodiles. Okay, one is your chemotactic, other one is your temperature dependent. 2. Okay, chemotactic in the case of the Bonellia, and the temperature dependent in the case of the turtles, lizards, and the crocodiles. Okay, so today we discussed the long question and also the short question. In detail we discussed the long question, how you will write. We discussed all this in your earlier classes, but today we discuss how you can write properly as the question, if the questions comes in a totally different way, because you thought we studied in this way, but if it will come in the by the animal ways, then how you will write. So today we discussed all those things. We discussed the 2 long questions, 2 short questions, what points you will write. Okay, so that's all for today's class. We'll meet in our next class. Thank you.